Hey guys, Daniel James here, and welcome back to episode 3 of this marathon. It seems to be first look at Spitfire's BBC Symphonic Orchestra. We just got done with the strings and the brass. Strings was great. Brass, we had some minutes. We had some moments with, but now we're moving into the percussion. So, chat, if you want to say hello to YouTube for episode 3. Those of you who have been here the whole time, you'll be able to point that out to people. So we're back again. Right, now we're at percussion. Right, where's this going to be? Okay. I feel like this will probably go quicker. Oh no, never mind. We're still waiting for the anvil to load. Right, okay, here we go. Still waiting for the anvil to load in, because it takes a minute. It's loaded 1 out of 2, 3, 4, 5, 1. So at least now we know that there's, what, 6 round robin? 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2. Yeah, there's 6 round robins. 4, 5, 6. Oh, that one was less. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, there's 5. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2. Yeah, there's 5 round robins on the anvil at least. And I know this because it's taking 10 minutes to load a fucking anvil. Give me the fucking anvil, for Christ's sake. Give me the anvil. Don't give me every 5 anvils. Give me all the anvils. Then give me all the bass drums. Don't give me 1 anvil out of 10. For the love of Jesus. For the love of sample Jesus. So again, I'll say this again at the beginning of every video. I'm running this off of the hard drive option, which I know some of you will do, and it will 100% load faster on an SSD. However, the point I've made a few times in the other videos is that I also run all my other samples off of these hard drives, and they run fine. The instant I load them, I'm able to play them because of Contact. So this is not like you guys have seen how many sample libraries I own, right? I have hundreds of them. This is the only one, bar the Play Engine, maybe 10 years ago, where someone has tried to make an excuse saying, well, it's all because you have a hard drive. No, it's because it's not, it's not efficient. It's not programmed efficiently enough to load correctly. Not correctly, that's not what I'm trying to say. It's inefficient. That's the word. It's not optimized. Thank you, chat. That's the word I was going for. It isn't optimized. So everybody always says, oh, but the hard drive, it's got fuck all to do with the hard drive. Yes, it loads slower, but if it was just the hard drive, Contact libraries would load the same way. Contact loads in the background, which means I can play while it's loading. This does that as well. But what Contact does that this doesn't is Contact gives you whatever you're playing. They whatever you're trying to play, it loads those first. They jump to the top of the queue. That key jumps to the top of the queue. It loads it in. You're fine. You can play immediately. And it took us 5 minutes to load just the anvil. You know, like that's what I'm saying. I know that it was loading all the other ones, but like we're starting at anvil, and I couldn't play the other ones because I assume it was loading them in number one, like group one. It loaded those. Then it went group two. I imagine it was something like that because we were able to play the one of everything, but not 2, 3, 4, or 5. All that for an anvil, and the anvil just sounds okay. I'm scared to pull this mix down because if I do... Okay, that mix has loaded. There we go. Well, I hope you all enjoyed the anvil. Anything on the anvil? Tightness. That's what a tight anvil sounds like. That's what a loose one sounds like. It does sound like a milk bottle, so let's tune it down. Oh, man. Maybe down... It does. It sounds like a water bottle. No matter where you put it. Bass drum. How ironic. The bass drum doesn't have any bass in it. Oh, at least we have a roll. Now, I have Hans Zimmer's percussion, so I know that they can make those rolls go louder. Probably wouldn't use that one. And the other interesting thing is okay, what are these keys, you know? Oh, fuck yeah. Okay, they figured that out. They figured that out. I take that back. You hover over the key, tells you what it does. Yeah, I like that. I was going to say, how do I know what these do? Yeah, good. I'm glad they did that. That's a good thing. I'll give them praise for that. It's deserved. Yeah, Contact should do that. Yeah, I love that. So if you look down here, it actually tells you when you hover over the key what that key is. I like that feature. So crash, muted. What? Why is it still going? That is the longest, weirdest sounding cymbal swell ever. No pedal. Why is that still going? Maybe it's pre-baked. What is that one? Is it just a crescendo? Oh yeah, we got to use the 3 dots for that as well. That didn't help. What are you cooking? It smells good. You're cooking it for the dog. Oh, for Christ's sake. That was the panagement version of cymbals. That's hard to play live. Cymbal sounds good. Not cymbal, fucking drum. Hard to play live. So we got muted, choked hit rather, 2 choked hits, and then 2 clash hits. And then a short roll on the A. Why is it so quiet? What is the point of that sound? What? That's what the thing is, and then my mod wheel's all the way up, the short roll. Like that's have I done everything right? It's rubbing the cymbals together, but like how quietly? Right. I gotta. Everybody knows it. I actually fucking love this snare. So like dun 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 dun. How do you tune it? I guess you could tune it up here. Guess you could tune it on the main tuner. Because of the delay. So I need to put it. So. Man, I can't get it right. Anyway, you get the idea. This one's like slightly weaker, but I like it. This is just if you've got something in the background. I like the snares. The snares have won me over. I like that, but I wish it didn't choke. This sounds great. Okay. Okay, I've got an idea. Got an idea if you're watching Spitfire. I'm sure one of you is. There's like 50 of you now. One of you. What would be cool is if when I push the key, this bit changes to tell me what I just pushed. That would be awesome. On the just on the percussion section. So like I push a key and then maybe down here it tells me so I don't have to go back to my mouse. Like that's going to be cool because you can fade it in. So you can have like a... Like, you know what I mean? It creates a cool mode. You know what I mean? Like they create a nice air in the background. I like them. Tam Tam gets a thumbs up from me. How about this? Ba ba da ba with the recorders. This is brilliant. Okay. The tambourine, actually really good, and I'll tell you why. They've managed to do enough dynamic layers that the hard one feels different from the soft. Listen, I'll get harder as I play it. It goes, do, do, da, da. You know what I mean? You can feel it getting harder. So I can actually go. Wait, what did I say? What did I say? I've said something, haven't I? Oh, God. What did I say? I can feel it getting harder. God damn it. Okay, this drum gave up when it got into the M's. It got through PP, and it was like, you know what? I'm gonna just stop at MP. I'm just gonna stop at MP, except on the rolls, where I'm gonna go up to MF, just to confuse people. Like the roll is louder than you can fucking hit. Oh, those two keys are the same. They phase each other out. Just what I always wanted. All I imagine is just a kid sitting in the middle of like Air Studios by themselves. Ah! Then they died. Right, that was it. So there's some toys. I'm sure all you professionals are dying out, crying out for them toys. I bet that cost them $4 million to record. Oh, the triangle sounds good. Oh, where was this during the Angus? No, during the Back to Reality song. Triangle sounds great. I actually want to quickly try the snare, because the snare I really liked. Well, I enjoyed. Let's be honest. I enjoyed it. I want to hear that through the spill mics. So let's get rid of you. Let's put on a close mic. Again, we have to wait for everything to load again. We'll put on a tree, so we'll get like an... Oh, God. Okay, we'll go. Oh, we killed it. Jake Jackson was the only reason that sounded good. The tree came in on the roll before it came in on the hits. Sounds great. It's weird how they can get something so perfect and some things just not. All right, we gotta wait for these to kick in. How long do they take to load in, do you think? I don't hate this. The thing about this is like, so Mikosu says, why do we have to discuss it in love hate? I'm not discussing the library in love hate in terms of I either love it or I hate it. I love bits of it and I dislike bits of it. Some bits I'm doing this. So I don't know if you've seen me do this. I'm either in, out, or I'm meh. I have this option. You guys don't. You guys are either in or out. You don't get a meh option. For me on the brass, I was meh because some of it worked, some of it sounded great, and some of it just sounded bad. And that's what I mean. It's not a love-hate. Like, we're not talking about that. It's just that's how... Oh, right. Not me. Sorry, I thought you were talking about me. So in general, people on forums tend to get quite angry. It becomes, it's mostly just tribal. Would you agree? Like, people pick a side. Yeah, people just pick a side, and then if anyone says anything against your side, you don't even read the content of it. You just defend your side. That happens a lot on VI Control, and it happens a lot with Spitfire. Used to happen a lot with East West as well. So all you have to realize, guys, is that there are other people. Most of you are here. You know what I mean? There's 160 of you here. Like, and think how many people posted in the Spitfire thread on VI Control. It probably wasn't many more than 100. Well, it might have been, but you know what I mean? Like 160 people all commenting would be a lot of people. You know what I mean? So you guys are doing the right thing in that, like, you're searching out other opinions. If you don't agree, you don't have to just accept that you agree. you can go out there and see if there's other options for you. And that's what I'm here for. So that sounds brilliant. This is the only snare drum. Here we are. I'm giving them a positive. This is the only snare drum I would wait 5 minutes for and dedicate 728 megabytes to. Yeah, that snare is brilliant. Sounds really good with the spill mics. It's the only one I think I'd go in on the mics as well. Let me just pull these down so that we can hear what they actually do. They just add in some depth, it seems. Let me turn off the other ones. Oh, I'll turn them down. So just pretty much just the spill mics. Great snare. So this is the kind of sound where microphones come in handy. Percussion is a really good instrument to have microphone positions on because it genuinely changes the sound. If you listen to a snare drum, I go do it now if you have to. Go listen to any percussion instrument, or any instrument really. But particularly a percussion instrument. Go listen to a percussion instrument in a is it an anatomic chamber? What's it called? The one where there's no sound. It's just, you know what I mean? There's no sound. The sound of a percussion instrument is the room it's in. So microphones make sense. It should also make sense for brass because brass is another one where the room is more about the sound. Strings always seem to sound good wherever you put them. Even when they're dry, they sound good. Brass dry doesn't quite work as well, and neither does percussion. I mean, it does, but like not for what I'm trying to explain here. So these mic positions might not work so well on strings. They may give you different perspectives, a bit more depth, but they won't really change the sound. Whereas when you're playing with something like percussion, changing what mics you use will change the entire, like, how it feels. Now you can feel the room changing. You know what I mean? Like as I move the mics, you can hear that snare tone just shifting around. So that's great for that. It works. It will work better on brass, but the brass is kind of like, unfortunately, a bit crippled by itself. Okay, so I'm seeing flutes for some reason have their own special section. Is there a reason for this? We're going to listen to the flutes. We're not having flutes in their own video. We're not that. Oh, that sounds brilliant. Okay, good. I like good sounding flutes. Oh. What was that? This one loaded super quick. Yeah, it seems to change, Dave. So the bottom color UI changes depending on which section you're currently using. So Woodwinds is blue for some reason, which confuses me because that's synths for me. It's green for me. I did my colors like this. Brown for strings because string, you know, cellos and violins are brown. Yellow for brass because, you know, brass is gold. Percussion, white because of the skins. Choir was purple because they... Yep. And then Woodwinds was green because woodwinds always make me think of grass. This one loaded into into a playable fashion very quickly. I'm just going to run this through my winds group. Not for me, it's not Beats by Vanity. For me, it is yellow because gold. I like gold. I like gold. But like, no, for me, it's a visual representation. Red, like, why is brass red? There's no connection with red and brass in my brain. However, yellow is the color of gold, well, brass, you know, like it's, whenever I see yellow, I think the brass instruments. I see brown, I see like the body of a violin. Just, you can't tell me it's just brown. Fuck you guys, it's yellow now. I'm going to put this in black hole because flutes always sound amazing in black hole. And I'm sure that some of you will steal this idea. But flute sounds great. I'm going to turn off black hole, put it back through the thing. Sounds good. Let's see what the longs sound like. That definitely needs reverb. Let's put it in the winds. Flute sounds like one dynamic layer. Yeah, it sounds like one, but yeah, maybe two. That sounds like a mellotron. Let me take it out of the group. This is the bit that sounds like mellotron. They are definitely coming more left. But there's your mellotron. It's because of the release, I think. Probably. Although now they're starting to sound a bit weird. Let me turn the vibrato down. We got vibrato on this one as well. I'm in on these. No. Every time you do like a major trill on these. Yeah, beautiful, beautiful. Dun 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 dun. Yep. She heard it. Shorts are really good. Man, strings sound great. Tenuto. So how would you play that? Beautiful. Marcato. I would never use the marcato over the legato on this one. The legato is too good. That just sounds jazzy. What would you play for like a... It's more like a... Anyway. Jazzy as fuck. Multi-tongue again. Variation. And just before we move on, I know some of you guys wanted this comparison, so let's just compare it quickly to the flute from Nucleus, because I love the flute in Nucleus, but I also equally love the flute in this one. So, you know, not shits and giggles, swings and roundabouts. Different phrase. Close. An attempt was made. Yeah, let's have a listen. Okay. Oh. Okay, you got that in your mind? Oh, fuck's sake. Oh, and let me put it in the winds. I'll put them through the same reverb just so you can hear like what a good version of it sounds like. They all start da-da, da-da. Now Jaeger, not Jaeger, now Nucleus. I think I still like the Nucleus one more, but this is a good one. Yeah, I think I'll probably actually go for the BBC one on this one just because I can mix it a bit more. Like this is another one that I think would probably work with a bit of depth. Turning up their mics, although a solo flute coming up into fucking gigabytes of... Didn't mean to do that. Like there's more. Yeah, we can compare against Berlin brass if you want. Not brass, woodwinds. I think I have that loaded here somewhere. Let's not load it into there. Let's load it down here. Where would it be? Woodwinds. Flute, not piccolo. Flute. Nope. Anyway. I wanted to try that. I've noticed that the flute player feels like it's blowing too hard sometimes. Whereas like when you go on something like Berlin, feels like you're getting the flute more than the breath. Feels like you're getting the breath more than the flute. Do you know what I mean? You're getting a lot of rather than the, like, again, listen. So this, you're getting more flute. You can hear the in his breath, but you hear the flute over the top of that. But in this one, feels like you're getting a lot of. But anyway, it sounds great. So now 3 flutes. Let me take off the reverb. Why is the legato being weird? What does legato extended mean? Oh, it's still loading. What does it mean? Oh, is it? I haven't played this in so long. What would it be? Nope. I'm sorry, I'm trying to read chat and play at the same time. Sample Jesus, don't you think it's a little unfair to put the blame on not being able to build up a multi on a plugin library, on a library? Okay, put the blame on not being able to build up a multi in a plugin on a library. It's a responsibility of Contact or a DAW, but it's not the responsibility of the plugin. Fair enough. Fair enough. No, you're confusing things, Sample Jesus. If that's Paul, which I doubt it is, but if it was, you know better than that. So we're talking about different things. So when I'm talking about not being able to make multis, it's sort of a separate subject away from the BBC Symphonic Orchestra. The only reason it's connected is because the BBC Symphonic Orchestra is in the Spitfire player. And the Spitfire player is what I have a big issue with. If this library was in Contact, there would be, like, we wouldn't be anywhere near as down on this library in some of the places as we would be. As it stands right now, the player is kind of shit compared to Contact. It's not shit in general. It's, obviously it's very functional. It plays back legatos well. It plays the things, but it misses a lot of features that Contact provides and makes life easy, like being able to play the instruments instantly when you load them. That is a feature with workflow in mind. That is a feature with the composer in mind. Being able to create multis or purge samples from things, even if you're still using them, so that it'll only load the notes that you play. Again, focused on the consumer, focused on what the consumer can do with the product. Spitfire tend to just make libraries of a standard way, and like none of the problems ever seem to get fixed. We've been having dodgy staccato since Albion 1. Like we've been having weak brass since way before Albion 1. That's what I mean. It's like a lot of these issues we already know, but it's made worse by the fact now we have to wait 5 minutes to play them. We can't create our own balanced multis. Like you saw that I was trying to layer like staccato with sustain, but I can't individually change the volume. In Contact, I would have loaded that as 2 patches, sent them to the same MIDI track, but turned one down. It's just like Spitfire Player is built just to play back samples with nothing else. Like there's no benefit over Contact for the end user. I'm sure there's benefits for Spitfire, but there's zero benefits to using the Spitfire Player over Contact for any real reason. I mean, Contact just seems better in every way. The only way I can think of in which it's better for them really is like they don't have to pay for licenses, but then it must be more expensive to create a player. So I don't know why they went with their own player. It just doesn't seem to be the best idea, but they did it and we have to live with it, and it gets judged on that merit. So yeah, I'm not blaming BBC Symphonic Orchestra for the fact they can't make multis. I'm blaming the Spitfire Player, which you can only get the BBC Orchestra in. If I could buy a Contact version of this library, I would never have mentioned multis once. I would never mention load times, but this is what they've provided and this is what we're working with. I like this, tenuto. Ironically enough, this is going to be my go-to winds, I think, for now. Well, at least flutes. Right, let's try this. Now I actually like this. I'm actually I'm letting it play out now, and it allows me to write these weird melodies. But yeah, long flutter. Whenever I hear that sound, some sort of heist or jazzy crime is about to happen. Then bongos. I actually do like Berlin better. That was a weird thing. Like it's going to be my go-to for a certain few things. I actually do really like the sound of the woodwinds in this so far. Although for some reason that's really loud all of a sudden. So that was, we got a piccolo up here as well. So why isn't flutes included in woodwinds? Why has it got its own place? God, this goes so high. Piccolo's really good. Yeah, because you can do these fast lines. Can't really go that high, but yeah. I mean, it can, but I don't want to. Oh, fuck, I hit a wrong note. I'm going to pitch these down a little bit. I'm going to pitch them down just a little bit. Just. Don't worry, guys. If you need to go to bed, it's fine. These will all be up on YouTube tomorrow. Should I put them all up at the same time, do you think? Doom. And I wish that the Marcatos just had a button. You know what I mean? I didn't even know that this thing, the short releases, was an option until someone pointed it out. Why is it not here? Why is it not here? Why isn't it even here? You know what I mean? Like in the fucking hidden menu. Why isn't it in effects? You know what I mean? It's just these odd hidden menus of things. Like this UI assumes you know a lot of stuff that is never indicated to you. It's never indicated to you how to use the fucking sorry, it just bugs me, and I'll point it out one more time. Like on the multi-tongue, there is nowhere indicated, not even here, because someone pointed out that this icon is what it means, but that was on Reverb, right? So there's nothing on this UI that indicates there's anything special about the multi-tongue. And Sample Jesus, we've been through this already. People don't read the manual with sample libraries, and even if they did, as a developer, you can make this more obvious. You can make this more apparent. Just give me something special. Give me something that lights up, anything that changes on the UI when I click on something that's got a special control. Like Marcato, it should light up somewhere, like maybe here. Look, you don't need to put that up there. Put it down here. Have this as the special control area. So look, you see that tightness or whatever. Just give me wasted space. So Marcato has a special tightness control. If we move across, multi-tongue has the special variation control. Just put it in a space so that when I click it, I know that something new popped up and I'm like, oh, what is this? And then I'll know for a fact that something can be changed. And then once you figure that out, if you figured that out somehow, that you need to click the button to find variation, because I mean, you could go to effects as well. But like, if you figured all that out, right, you'd then have to figure out that you'd have to just know that in this patch, going up to here makes it 3, going up to here makes it 4. But also playing soft gives you a no sustain, and hitting hard. You know what I mean? Like there's nothing that indicates any of that. And I'm sure it makes sense to them. And they're like, oh yeah, you just do the thing because they fucking made it. But then they forget to tell us that that's what you do. But anyway. Anyway, we shall move on. Oh wait, we're way down there. What are we doing down there? Oh, wait, I'm trying to do. Yeah, it's try and find out. But when you're paying $1,000, I wish they'd have done a lot of that try and find out for me already. You know what I mean? That's the thing that bugs me. $300, I could let that go. I could let the poor UI go. You know what I mean? Because I'm just there for the samples. I'm there. When you're charging $1,000 for a fucking product, it needs, like, if you charge premium price, you need to have you can't just make a $300 thing, put the BBC logo on it and say it's premium. It's like, it's not quite. Okay, we did the flutes. So for some reason, flutes got on there. I don't know why that's up there. Maybe I fucked something up, but flutes ended up with its own special section. Oh, wait, never mind. That's because for some reason, this is a drop down. It's not like we have, oh, I don't know, all of this space. Look, again, another weird UI choice. Why is this load thing not coming to the bottom of the UI? Does it stretch with the... It stretches with the UI, so it's not a problem. Why is that not coming down to the bottom? Like, what is the reason for that not coming down to the bottom? Because the fact that that doesn't come down to the bottom means I have to scroll, right? And it means that even in this mini menu, there's a scroll as well. Why? Why do this? Just, these are simple flaws that, like, a student, like someone graduating out of design school could have seen. Sorry, I'm not a fan of the UI. I think you guys know that, so I'll leave it. It's called form over function. It's like having a hammer that has a chandelier on it. Sure, it looks brilliant, but it's going to make it fucking hard to hammer a nail in with. Okay, we have to wait for that to load, so. I think there's someone at the door. God damn it. Oh God, sorry, my dog's going crazy. Trying to be all professional. Now you can hear my wife and my dog. Okay, as you can hear, my wife's having a conversation with my neighbor and the dog, and it's all kicking off around the woodwind. But luckily, during all of that commotion, the oboe has still not loaded in. So nothing was lost because we're still waiting for it to load in. Oh, I feel like I know what that is. That's BBC, isn't it? Is that BBC? It's Blue Planet. Okay, is it loaded? It's loaded. Okay, here we go. Legato. Okay. It actually plays really well. It's got playable legato as well, so I can go ba ba ba. The oboe's really good when you play it right. I mean, like, it feels like you could use a little bit more tightening up on that. You know what I mean? In a mix, you might not hear that, though. I'm just going to put that in black hole because woodwind always sounds great in a black hole. and then just through normal reverb. Oh. That's maybe a bit high up there. Sounds good though, I like it. You joke. I am actually going to virus scan my my hard drive when it comes through from Spitfire, just in case. You joke, but you never know. So the trills sound good. These are quiet as fuck. Like that's, again, it's as loud as they go. I feel like the legato goes louder than the staccatos, but yeah. Probably wouldn't use that. The thing is like a lot of these extended articulations you just wouldn't use if you've got a legato. Maybe you would. Sounds okay. Multi-tongue, my favorite. Anyway, the volumes between articulations is inconsistent, and it has been definitely since Hans Zimmer strings. Unfortunately, okay, there's only one oboe. Oh no, we've got an oboe section. Good. The section doesn't sound as good as the solo. Sounds a bit synthy, to me. Solo oboe sounded fine. How low does a solo oboe go though, bro? And how low does the solo oboe go though, bro? How low does a solo oboe go though, bro? Okay. Right, longs. The trills just sound like trills. Anyway. I hit that wrong note. Anyway. Yeah, let's go over to the hype mix. The only reason I'm not on the hype mix is it takes me 5 minutes every time I change the mic position before I can fucking play everything properly again. I can play pretty quick after I change over, but look, there we go. We can change over. How about legato? Yes, it seems to have loaded in. This one just sounds louder. Paul does have the most manly chest hair I've ever seen on a human being. That is true. By the way, I didn't just say that randomly. The chat's talking about it. I'm not just here daydreaming about Paul's chest hair while I'm playing Metal Gear. Mind you, or am I? The plot thickens. You know what they say? Treat them mean, keep them keen. That's me and Paul. Cool. This is the hype mix. It just sounds louder. Right, let's move on from oboes to the clarinet. I like the clarinet. I don't know why. This is definitely one of those. I've put Black Hole on, by the way. Yeah. Still, like, I've played all that, by the way. The clarinet is still loading in. Still fucking loading. It slows down when I play, though, I noticed. Oh, no, it doesn't. It's just looking for samples all the time. That's actually a good melody to play with a clarinet. Yeah, clarinet's just one of those instruments that fills out everything. But yeah, woodwinds in general sound great with good big reverbs on. I'm just going to take it out of the reverb. So didn't go that high for some reason. That's just my thing. Oh, I like that. This is what I'm going to do. But with loads of reverb, that would sound awesome. Actually, it didn't sound as great as I thought. I take it back. Doesn't sound good when you do that. Moving on. Marcato. So they're a lot drier when you take the reverb off. Nope. Oh, wait, that's the reverb. Right, moving on. Clarinet section. Oh, yeah, of course, we need to wait. Really needs reverb on it. Their reverb is interesting. So, actually, let me check that before I say this. So, one of the things I use reverb for, and this can be like a little pro tip in amongst this first look, is one of the things I use reverb for is to cover up bad endings of samples. So as you can hear, when I play this sample, very dry. Right? If I put this reverb on, it doesn't give me any more tail, doesn't give me any more ending, just gives me more body when I play the notes. Like it's giving me like the tiniest amount of tail. Now, normally I would adjust that and make it longer, but in my own reverb, obviously I have it set up so that that's a thing, and it fades out just more gently. But yeah, their built-in reverb just makes it sound, I don't know, bigger. I don't know how you'd say it. I ended up just playing Dire Straits there. By the way, did any of you guys catch my Dire Straits video? In fact, leave that for after the video. People watching this on YouTube don't care about that. Oh, I like that. That would be a thing. Nope. Oh, yeah, it's Marcato. So you'd need to add this thing. You need to add the short release. It's like once you get through a few, you just need to listen to the sound, because that's why we're speeding up as we get towards the end here. Mostly because we've been through what multi-tongue sounds like so many times. Oh, we've got to wait for everything to load. I want someone, by the way, when we finish this, if anybody's bored enough, what would be fun is if someone was to just clip out all the time we spent waiting for it to load, to see how much physical time we spent within, because it'll actually be a good indication. So we've been online for 5.5 hours now. If you were to take all that time and add it up, it would be a good indication of how much time you lose during a writing session. Thanks to loading. Oh, we're bassoon. Oh, the bassoon actually sounds okay. Oh, a little E at the top there. Again, SSD will make things load faster for sure, but not everybody's going to have an SSD. And I can load literally every other sample library I have just fine without having to wait. And they're on the exact same drive that we're on right now. So I'm not accepting that as an excuse. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Who said that? Super Nab. I'm sorry, but I don't accept that today. Sure, I could use an SSD and it would go faster. But I've been working as a professional musician now for at least a decade. And there's only ever been two companies which have ever said, yeah, but you need an SSD, or two sets of group that have said, I need to upgrade in order for this to work how it's supposed to. And that's East West with Play, and it's Spitfire with these things. It's like it has to be an SSD because they didn't program it as well as Contact does it, I guess. Do the buffer settings help? I don't know. I haven't tried them yet. So again, one of the things I do with these first looks is literally I open it up and I'm just experiencing it for the first time with you guys. So I'm not really digging into like the extra features and shit they have. I'm just literally opening it and reacting to it how you guys would if you purchased it. Is it me, or does this one sound drier than everything else? Meals Beast, you could also try something like Nucleus. I mean, that's what I'm saying. This just feels like a cheaper library that you're paying more for. It does sound great, but like the shortcuts is that's what I mean. When I say this is a cheaper library that's being sent for more, I'm not saying the content is bad. I'm just saying that they've taken audible or like things you can, like shortcuts that you can hear. And usually you'd let that go in a cheaper library. I've heard that many times in cheaper libraries that have come out, but they're cheaper, you know, like it's, you know, one of those, you get what you pay for kind of things. Why am I playing the bassoon up there? You want it in contact? Me too. This would be great in contact. Yeah, my hard drive didn't arrive either, so I had to download it, and we're running it on my... And again, just so that people understand what I'm talking about when I say with the hard drive thing, because I've mentioned it in all 3 videos now, and it's worth mentioning again. It is almost certainly the fact that I'm loading this off a hard drive that it's loading slow. I accept this as a premise. It looks like my my thing's slowed down. Anyway, I accept it as a premise, okay? If I was to use an SSD, it would load quicker. However, things like chamber strings, I already have. This is on the exact same hard drive, right? And yes, whilst it may load just as slow, right? We're over here. The thing about this is I can get in and start playing. There's glitches in there. This is running off the exact same hard drive. And keep in mind, this patch is only 578 megabytes. This one currently is already over that and still loading. And you see, I'm just playing wherever I want, and I've just loaded that, right? And now if I was to go, let's say, so we're finished with the bassoon. Let's say we were to move over to the next one, like the bassoons. This will probably load instantly now. You see, look, I can't start playing. I just can't. And so people will be like, yeah, but on the SSD it does. It's like, well, on the hard drive, everything else does, except for this. Like, sorry, my wife randomly started singing behind me. Yeah, and that's what I mean. It's like there's other things that can already do it. So just saying, oh, but it's because you don't have an SSD. It's like that would only be a legitimate concern if every other sample library I owned loaded just as slow, which they do not. By the way, we are still waiting for it to load, just so that no, we're not. No, we're not. I clicked on the wrong thing. Fuck, let me do that experiment again. I'm an arsehole. Let me try one more time. Contrabassoon this time. There you go. Oh, maybe we can. But we definitely can't play Legato. But we can play this. That's better. That's good, because that one loaded quick. But not the Legato. But this one's only, what, 6 articulations? This one sounds a bit odd. Does it go much, much lower? Oh, yeah, it does. That's why. I was like, why is this? Ah, that's better. It's meant to go down low. Let me put it in reverb so that it fills a room. So Cozy Cone says, I meant let's focus on the library, not the player. I can't, because you can only buy this in the player. So when I'm talking about how I feel about this, I'm talking about my workflow. When I work, I get an idea. So if you look at my template in the background here, it's just lots of empty instances of contact, right? So there's nothing preloaded. So when I load things, when I'm writing and I need something, I think about what I want, and I think about the best sample library that has the best tone, the best playability for what I'm trying to achieve. I load it and I start recording it, right? So BBC, like anything in the Spitfire player, just does not work really with my workflow because it loads too slowly. Sure, if I had it on an SSD, maybe it would load quicker, but then so does every other library. And that's what I'm saying. Like, this isn't doing anything special at the minute to overcome that. And people keep saying, yes, it's because you're on a hard drive. And it's like, I understand the logic of what you're saying. And I 100% believe that it would load a lot quicker if I was to put it on an SSD. But I don't have it on an SSD. I have it on a hard drive. I'm not going to be the only person in existence who has it in a hard drive. So I don't mind showing it this way. but also it's yeah. Anyway, I forget where I was going with that, but yeah, I'm the only one. I'm not going to be the only one who has it on a hard drive. And the fact that literally every other sample library I have is playable immediately through Contact, all I have to do is load it, means that it's not the hard drive, it's the programming. Because if they would have released these exact samples in Contact, it would probably work how every other Contact library works. There's nothing special about the samples other than the fact they recorded 600 gigabytes of microphone positions that makes it any different. So that was my point. Worth mentioning many times. Oh, these are low trills. Yeah. And the only reason I keep mentioning it is because people keep asking me in the chat room. Oh, God, they're so quiet. Let's see how loud they go. I'm not going to hurt my fingers trying to play that hard. And then we'll double it so it's a little bit more aggressive. That's as loud as that goes, which is... Oh, no. Yeah, they don't go particularly loud. How's the balance of the orchestra if you don't adjust the volumes? It would, I can tell you, it would be all over the place. The volume consistency in this library is a little odd, but it's okay. It's manageable. Because the thing with this is you can only really use one at a time. I mean, you can set it up. And if I remember correctly, they did something here where you can unload. This is new, where you can like unload articulation so it loads quicker. But you're still going to have to wait for the load times and things. It might be worth, and the fact that they haven't given us any of these presets up front is kind of annoying. Maybe they did in user. No. Like if we had like maybe some user presets, you know, where it's just legato. Because we had that with, we had that with Hans Zimmer strings, where you had the option of playing just the longs, just the shorts, or just articulations. Then it would load a lot quicker. But these are all kind of locked out into sections, so you have to wait for the whole section to load in order to actually use the thing. So we just did contrabassoon, so bass clarinet. How deep does it go? Oh, we gotta wait for it to load to find out, boys. Here we go. Much quicker. That actually sounds nice. So far, the brass has been the weakest point, Leo Brenso. Goes quite high for a bass clarinet. Now, the brace. My favorite section so far is the strings, followed by the woodwinds, followed by the percussion, followed by brass. Sounds good. I imagine you're supposed to play it down here. It does have an amazing sounding snare. You're right on that. Where's my trills? Where's my major trills? Load in my major trills. You gave me the minor ones. Oh, no. Do you hear some white noise in the samples? Not really. No, there's not really much noise in them, to be honest. There's probably more noise in the microphones, but I haven't really gone to those. Let's try mix 2 on these. You see how little I feel inclined to go to the microphones because of the load time? And like that's the thing. That's one of the reasons I like doing these. Oh, wait. My dog's trying to jump over the edge by the sounds of it. My dog just tried to attack another dog from the balcony. Fun times.
Fun times?
I don't know if they heard that, but anyway. So if you're watching that on the YouTube, let's just carry on from where we were there. Sorry, I had to focus on my dog trying to kill another dog then. Okay, marcatos. Oh, that actually sounds quite nice. Long flutter. How does it sound in mix 2? Oh, and then that brings us to our last instrument, the cor anglaise. So the fun thing about it is, because I've been doing this for 6 hours almost now, you know what I mean? It's going to be hard for people to say that, like, oh, I'm just bullshitting, because you've heard every single sound that I've heard, and you can react to it how I react. I've been reacting literally to the sound of these instruments as I've heard them, without hearing them for myself. And, you know, my first reaction is often the genuine one, as it is with everybody. I really don't like this load time. And the good thing about it is because we're breaking it into 3 videos, it's going to be easy to skip around and find what you want, because I've literally gone through every sound in the library. I'm a little disappointed in this. I'm a fan of the English horn. There's lots of good in this library, but there's also lots of bad. It's a mixed bag. Pretty cool. I wish we could have ended on the solo flute. Some trills. Minor trills. Staccatissimo. Make it dry. This is an articulation I'll probably never use, really, because it just sounds synthy. Black hole. Save me, black hole. And I think that brings us neatly to the end of everything, right? Woodwinds, brass, we did that, we did perc. No, we didn't do perc. We've got one more to go, boys. We only did the untuned percussion. One more to go. We're on the percussion. Okay, so I started it as though this was the percussion video. This was the woodwinds video. So we've got one more to go. We're not done yet. We're not done yet. Fuck that. Oh, well, we did. We did. We went through some of them. We went through the untuned percussion. Now we're doing the rest of them. Okay. So quick break. Quick break. We got one more to go. For some reason, I've turned into like a corpse color. I've gone all green. So what we're going to do with that is we're actually going to take. Well, we'll do that in a second. If you're watching this on YouTube, sorry to like butt in the YouTube people there. So that was the woodwinds. That was the woodwinds. So what do you guys think of the woodwinds in chat? We've only got one more to go. That's going to be the percussion. We're going to be going through those relatively quick. So we're just going to reduce this LUT a little bit. In fact, no, let's keep it. And let's just keep it for now. It's fine. I don't mind being dark. It's kind of creepy, but like whatever. So I'm in for the woodwinds. The woodwinds were really nice sounding. I felt like they were a bit dry, and you definitely need to mess with the releases somewhat. You know, like I feel like they're going to need mixing, but the actual playability of them was there. The shorts are there, although they're a little bit soft. Again, it feels like Spitfire is allergic to anything above MF. But yeah, so lastly, we're going to be moving into our final final first look, which will be the remaining instruments in the percussion. So we're not actually going to break that into another video. You know what? We're going to keep going. We're just going to keep going. So if you're watching this on YouTube, we're keeping going. There's no point breaking this one up because it's not long enough. It's not long enough. So we're just going to keep. Shall we break it up? We're going to break it up. Fuck it. Fuck it. YouTube, I'll see you in the next.